What's up, everybody? It's Hardy Construction. You can find us on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram with your host, Komp, and
Apple Cider Retreats.
today's film is
Unsane. Unsane, not insane. 2018.
Unsane. 2018. A young woman is involuntarily committed to a mental institution. Involuntarily committed. Maybe I should be committed myself. To a mental institution where she is confronted by her greatest fear, but is it real or a product of her delusion? Directed by Steven Soderbergh, written by Jonathan Bernstein, James Greer, starring Claire Foy, Joshua Leonard, and Jay Farrow, as well as, who's that girl with the braids? She's in a couple of things.
Violet, Juno Temple.
Yeah, Juno Temple. So this is a film that came out this year. Hey, we're doing another new movie this year. I can't believe it.
Look at us.
Can't believe it. And the reason why I wanted to do this film is because it seemed to have come out of nowhere. And I remember seeing the poster for it is this woman, Claire Foy's very insane-looking face. It was everywhere around Union Square. It was,
she looks like a sexier version of the girl from American Horror Story that's in everything, Sarah Paulson or whatever.
You think so? She looks to me. There's somebody that she looks like, but I can't. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Also the girl from Faculty.
Which the one with the cleft chin that she looks like Josh Hart in it.
A little bit, yeah.
To me, she looks like, who is the girl that she looks like this actress that is a slash singer. She was in I believe 8 Mile. Oh no, I know what she was in. Oh crap! It's gonna lead me to. I have to find this out now. Whenever I look through movies, I have to find the fucking actor because it drives me insane.
In any case, Unsane, the guy that did Oceans 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, and 20.
And Magic Mike.
And Magic Mike.
It's funny because I've seen, like, Steven Soderbergh is a director that apparently every actor likes to work with. That's why they're always in his stuff. Even Matt Damon comes up in this movie out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that was weird.
They're, like, he's like an actor's director because he always has a really, like, good group of actors with his movies, and I guess he can work in decent budgets. He recently had worked on this TV series that I hear a lot about called The Nick, and it's about doctors in the early 20th century. And obviously he did the Ocean's 11's film. I think he did 3 of them. Then the one that just recently came out, I don't think he had anything to do with that. I know I saw 3 films of his.
3, a 1, a 2.
3. I remember that song. So yes. Steven Soderbergh is. Let me just get a little bit into Steven Soderbergh. He's one of those directors that you know about, but you don't know if you've seen his film because he's sort of a chameleon with his films. And I think this is his first horror film. The movie only cost like $1 million to make, and it was shot on a cell phone on an iPhone.
Which is cool.
It was shot on an iPhone 7. So, and in 10 days it was shot. So nobody has excuses. You can shoot a whole movie on this. And while you're watching the film, I guess it works with the look of the film where, like, you watch and it's sort of jarring, like the opening of it. You're like, huh? It's like, oh, this shit is like a cell phone. It looks like a cell phone. But you quickly forget how it looks, obviously, because they must have had really good coloring. And
it didn't bother me.
No, not at all. But within 10 minutes of the movie, you don't pay attention to it. You're just like, oh, okay, just watching the movie. And it's just like, it shows a testament to how much of a good director. This is like a working man director. Okay, so these are the films that he's done. He, where's the movies that he's directed? God, flaming.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
That's the one that really brought him in to fame as a director. Okay. So I've only seen, I think, 3 films of his. I saw Traffic, which has, I remember that winning a lot of Oscars.
I saw that in theaters for some reason.
Wow. Remember the moral of that movie for some reason? It's like,
do drugs.
If you have a white daughter, she'll end up sleeping with somebody that's not white. I guess it was scared enough white people.
And do drugs.
Yeah, I know that's the whole thing. I think that scared the white people more, that it was interracial, the real racist fucks. When we're like, can you believe
it? In the drug world, everything has a sienna tint over it.
Yes.
Or a green tint, or an orange.
That's when, I don't like that when movies are super tinted with a weird color. But I guess it adds to it, because, like, I remember seeing this film, I think it was called 187, and it was really good, man. The whole movie looked like piss yellow, though, because it took place in, like, Los Angeles, and it was, how do I forget his name? Samuel Jackson. He's playing, like, a teacher in Los Angeles dealing with gangbangers. Man, that's a fucking good movie. 187.
We should watch that movie. You know what movie we should talk about?
This movie?
Unsane.
Unsane?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me just name a couple movies that he's done. He's obviously done... he did Erin Brockovich, which got him a lot of, stuff. I think...
Erin Brockovich.
Who's the star of Erin Brockovich? Pretty Woman. Julia
Erin
Roberts. She
Brockovich.
won an Oscar, I believe, for that. He also did Solaris, which was like a George Clooney space movie, but I don't know if people thought that was good. The Limey was really good. That's the one that I saw. So he's pretty much always there with films. He did Haywire, which was a fighting movie. I only saw like the middle half of that movie, and it was actually pretty fun. But Gina Carano is an MMA fighter. She sort of looks like a real Wonder Woman. Like, she's very pretty, but she can really fuck you up. But they dubbed her with a different actress for the movie. So that makes me think that she was she was the girl in Deadpool. The first, the really muscular girl that was fucking everybody up in Deadpool.
Okay.
That's Gina Carano. She's like a real MMA fighter. And they dubbed her with a different actress, so that makes me think she was probably a bad actor. Anyway, so to set up the film, we were going a lot of different places.
We've talked about a lot of things so far.
We've seen it all. We talked about it all. So this film is about a woman, a young woman. I assume she's probably 30-something in real life. But I guess she's like in her late 20s in the film. Mm-hmm. She has started a new life, new job. I thought she was gay when the movie started. Because remember, it had that photo next to her table, and it was like with a woman, but I couldn't see shit, so I didn't realize it was her mom. And then she goes on a date with a guy, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? But I realized quickly that she's...
I wish I could go on dates with people where they'd be like, everything's going to go exactly how you want. Just don't call me. I'd be like, okay.
I know, fantastic, right? And it like gets even better because then the girl will reject you. Because like, hey, I'm used to this. And then you just leave the
I get
house.
rejected no matter what.
So this film is called Unsane, and it's probably one of the worst titles I've ever heard for a movie. But,
yeah, what's the deal with that? What's the deal with Unsane?
Because the movie was, and here's the thing, it's a different movie than what I expected. I thought it's the movie that I expected it the first 15 minutes, and then it was like something else. It turns to something else. This isn't like a traditional. It is a horror film, but it's not a horror film more in the vein of Silence of the Lambs.
It's much more straightforward than I would think.
Yeah, it's a very straightforward sort of thriller.
There's like no like. Well, it's not really I mean, it's supposed to be a thriller, but it's not really a thriller because nothing unexpected happens. Like, it's completely
plays by the rules, I guess.
Like, every chance they had to do something weird, they didn't.
Yeah, there was only one real like standout moment when that guy slips the drug into her pills and she starts.
That was pretty.
Like, cool. That was pretty awesome. That was like really great for what it was because they just basically did a behind the head shot and front shot and moved it at the same time. So she's going lunatics. She was going Looney Tunes looking for crayons. That was great. She's great. Claire Foy is a very good actor. And I remember people were bitching about her being on she's on a show on Netflix called The Crown. It's about the British royalty. And people were like going insane because she wasn't paid as much as fucking Dr.
Wait, no, they were going unsane.
Yes, they were going insane because she wasn't getting paid as much as Doctor Who. Matt, whatever his name was, the weird looking Doctor Who. And people were saying, "Oh, this is sexist. This is sexist." And I'm like, and listen, I can understand that is sexist in a way, but I'm also saying like people know
big star.
Yes, I'm like, let me see this one who's here, and then there's also Doctor Who, like a guy who's noted for being on a show. Like,
I mean, it's like,
but it becomes gender politics. But I understand she is worth every penny.
There is definitely a pay gap between them, but in that example, it's like you have a superstar and a completely unknown person. Obviously, they're going to pay the superstar more.
No, but that's not. It's because because of gender politics, Danny. That's why.
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
I think there's plenty of.
In that example, it's probably because it's Matt Smith versus somebody I've never heard of.
Yeah, and I think Americans are probably thinking like, who the fuck's Matt Smith in America? Do you know what I mean? They're like not.
Anybody that watches Doctor Who fucking loves him.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess we're sexist pigs. Sorry, excuse me. Anyway, so she's an excellent fucking actor. She's worth every penny and more because in this movie she fucking holds her own, man. She's like, so give us a little background of her character in this film, Danny.
Well, she's a very nice girl who's being harassed by a man named David Strine.
So she says.
So she says she's relocated to this new place in Pennsylvania, I believe, to get a job and get away from this man named David Strine. But lo and behold, something bad happens.
So what did you think within the first 10 minutes of this film? Did you see it going a certain way or what?
honestly, I had no idea what the film was about. I didn't like read anything about it on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't really either.
I kind of just went in with no expectation.
Yeah, once I saw the trailer, because I saw the trailer, but the trailer's not very informative about what the movie is, other than a girl in an insane asylum. I thought that's what it was. I thought it was like, a person locked up in the psych wards. Psych wards are scary, man. Like, spooky.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, because I had to deal with a relative that was older and they had to be in a nursing home, and there was obviously people that were not well there, and just seeing that in general was like spooky. And there's a video. There's this there's this rapper. He's a white guy. What the hell is his name? Freak.
Freak.
He had a song called. It was about cocaine. There's that old song White Lines. Oh no,
Yeah.
okay. There's a song by LL Cool J, a rap song called "I Need Love," right? And he did a parody of it, and he's like serious, but it's also funny. It's called "I Need Drugs." It's a video. It's a very depressing video because it's actual footage of just people doing drugs and shit. He also did a video about Thorazine and being locked up in a mental institution, and they just snuck cameras into mental institutions. Or somebody must have did a video, and you can see that video online. I forget what the name of the rapper is, but it's I know what it is. He's called Necro. That's his name, the rapper Necro.
Oh, okay.
If you go on YouTube, you'll see a real version of what this movie is. I didn't understand how the fuck they put men and women in the same pen, because there's I would assume there's a lot of raping going on and shit like that, because men are, insane men are even worse than regular men.
Right.
And I don't understand how in this film how they locked guys with women in the same room, in the same ward. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Well, it seemed like a lot of things in that place, probably due to budgets, didn't make sense.
That's true, because that place was about. I mean, this movie goes into a whole political
also, the
thing
place
too.
is like a place that got shut down because it's horrible. So I mean, that would be part of it too.
Yeah. So anyway, so she goes to see a psychiatrist because there's a part where she goes on a date. Her boss intimates that he wants to have a sexual relationship with her so she can move better in the business. That's not even acknowledged by the end of the film. She just gets a better job. She just has a better position at the end of the film, and it's not explained how that happened. So maybe her boss gave her a better position for not getting killed by a psychopath, and he realized he wasn't going to try to sexually assault her. Right. Which is good. That's better. I mean, it sucks that she has to go through what she went through. Obviously, really bad what she went through. Anyway, so she has this job. She's like, oh, fuck. And it drove me. The worst part of this movie is when she's eating her salad with her bare hands as she used to touch her phone. To me, that's worse horror than anything else in this film. She's talking to her sweet mom. And she goes on a date. She wants to just fuck this guy because she's obviously has intimacy issues because
worst case of blue balls for that guy.
According to her, there's a guy, David Strine. Is that his name?
David Strine.
Can you guess who played David Strine? Did he look familiar to it all?
He did look
familiar. Don't look him up. Did he look familiar? He looked very familiar to me, and I was like, who is this guy? So I looked him up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a hint. Josh! You threw the fucking map in the river?
Oh, okay. No, I looked it up. Yeah. No,
you stupid ass. That's Josh from the Blair Witch Project. He's the only one out of all those people with that movie got any career. He has been consistently working in film since the Blair Witch Project. Nobody else.
He does have a very bad line in this movie. I forget what he says.
He said, who? All these people? They're crazy?
He's like, Sawyer, you can't escape this! Or something. He's chasing her in the woods. It's really stupid.
I do like the line. Yeah, I mean, there's a part, we'll get to it, but there's I love the opening when it's through that blue forest and you hear the psychopath talking. I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good. And it circles around towards the end of the film. So Josh is this guy named. So anyway, let's get back. Sawyer is. She has it's like a guy's name. It's pretty interesting. I like her name. And it's
actually Sawyer from Lost. So many time travels turned him into her.
Hey, Danny, don't make judgments. And so she goes, and then she finds Lily Evangeline. Is that her name, the lady actress?
Yeah, Lily Evangeline.
Evangeline Lilly, excuse me. She goes, hey, Freckles. Anyway, and then they look through a grass, and then you see Jack spike a football.
Yeah, and then they get out of the mental institution, and Jack comes through we gotta go back.
And then a giant black smoke comes after them. Hey, you know what? The giant black smoke is one guy out of two guys who live in the in the lost world. Fantastic.
Because he fell into a tunnel.
What the
in a
fuck?
pyramid.
What did you do? Lost season 6. Hey, remember when they did to Saeed and they just turned him into a piece of shit character, a drone?
Yeah, it was kind of.
What a great ending to a series. It's almost like the Dark Tower. It's like when they take the final book and they go, hey, you know what? Whatever.
I like Dark Tower.
Well, that's fine. Anyway, so she gets involuntarily committed to this psych ward, psychiatric ward. The closest thing I guess is we always hear about in New York. It's called Bellevue, right? And I remember seeing I was on the train once, and there was like a crowded train, and this woman who was obviously mentally ill was on the train. She was she was talking to herself, and then she on purpose like coughed, spit sneezed in this woman's face.
Oh.
It was like this Asian woman got spit in her face, and she was just like shocked.
In the face if someone did that to me.
And then she got off on the on the Bellevue stop, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Oh, if that would have happened to me, I would have put her head through it. You know how glass is pretty hard on a train door? Yeah. I'd put her head right through that shit. I wouldn't give a fuck if somebody spit in my face like that. I've had one person spit in my face, and I showed very calmness because the person was drunk and my friend. But no more, no mas.
Yeah, you're not into germs.
No mas. I'm not into germs. I'm into women spitting on me, but not in that context. Right. Anyway, so she gets committed. She's like trying to figure out, and it's very realistic. She calls her mom. She's like, here's where she fucked up though. Because she calls her mom. Her mom can't do nothing about it because the politics are putting red tape in front of her, and essentially they're almost threatening to have her lose her job. If you get committed,
oh god, yo, this movie though,
it's scary. That's
scary.
scary.
In the movie, were so frustrating.
It is. Yeah, you were telling me you were getting all fucking like hyperactive.
Like I was getting like anxiety because I wanted to just kill these people.
Her roommate is a girl. One of her roommates is Juno Temple, the girl with the braids. Who I think didn't deserve what she got, even though she was a piece of shit character.
Oh no, she was horrible. I was very happy as she died.
Okay, but I think in the context it was a little strange what happened. It was like, here, rape this person instead. That's what I felt was going on.
She didn't get raped. She was killed.
I get that, but it was still there's still something wrong about that scene that I'll talk about it when it happens. She was in this really good movie called Killer Joe. She came out in a film I think called. It was a movie with Jack Black and Michael Cera. I think it was called Year One. It was a caveman comedy. You know, those comedies that nobody laugh at. That it was one of those comedies. And she's really good in Killer Joe. And the thing is, she looks like a 15-year-old girl. She's like very young looking. And I think
so the line that he says in the woods, by the way, I just watched it. He goes, "You're only delaying the inevitable."
Yeah, that's pretty bad. He didn't go, Jake. Don't get in that chair.
Yeah. Don't go in there. It's suicide. That's,
oh my God! Go see the Devil's
Chair.
Holy crap! I went into this chair. You all blew up in a fucking chair. That's what that movie is. That's the sum up. So Juno Temple, who also gets naked in Killer Joe, very disturbing, Danny. Very disturbing. You do not want to see her nude scenes. At
this exact time of the movie.
You don't want to go to aznude.com and look up Killer Joe and see her nudes. It's very disturbing and it's very offensive to women to just put
Killer Joe.
Killer Killerjoe, starring Matthew McConaughey.
Nude.
Yeah, type that.
I would not Google that.
Don't do that.
Killer
It's
Joe
terrible.
nude.
It's awful. It's disgraceful for women. So
I would not do that. Okay.
And they also have Jay Farrow, who is SNL alumni. Jay Farrow is an incredibly talented actor. You don't see him in anything. He's a young African-American actor. He's probably late 20s, early 30s.
Who is that, Nate? Her friend, Nate?
Yes, Nate. He plays a character, Nate. He was... he really came out of nowhere. He was on SNL. He was a guy that was on YouTube doing sort of skits. Like he does an impression of Eddie Murphy that's insane. And he does a fantastic fucking Denzel Washington. Anybody who goes online, there's no nude photos of him online, unfortunately. I mean, anyway. So there's, if you look on YouTube and just look at his impressions of, Denzel Washington and Eddie Murphy, it's insane. Because the first thing he did on SNL was, an Eddie Murphy, impersonation. It was the funniest fucking thing. I was like, yo, who is this guy? But SNL did not use him to his potential, and then they fired his ass. SNL is not very good.
SNL's stupid.
Yeah, it's not a very good show anyway. It's become like, hey, let's jerk off left wing comedy the whole time.
Right,
Meanwhile,
much, yeah.
the left and the right are horrible. Well, the right wing is a little bit worse, but they're both horrible sides. And
Yeah.
it's just basically the left wing just jerking off on television. And he's good. He's very good. He's actually really good in here. And I was like, shit, he should be in more stuff. He tried to be in a show called White Famous on Showtime, but didn't go anywhere, which is funny.
Okay.
White Famous is a term for black actors that when they want to be famous, they
Or
want to be white
famous in
famous.
the white.
Yeah, they want to be famous like a white person is where they get, good things. They don't have to be in Big Mama's House 9 or some shit like that. So
Right.
she gets locked up, and she had a freak out earlier when she takes that guy at home, and the guy, she gets a warped image of a guy's face, and we were like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, is this like some sort of Jacob's Ladder thing going on? So she does come off insane within the first 15 minutes of this movie.
She has explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, and she wakes up in Vietnam at the end. We're like already 20 minutes into this. Let's fasten this up. She finds out later on that the guy that actually has been stalking her is stalking her. And when we first see it, we're like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I thought it was a hallucination at first.
Yeah, same
I thought
here.
she was imagining the guy, but then when he flips the envelope at her, that's like the only part that was like, oh, this is creepy.
Yeah. Once you see him, that part, that's pretty creepy. And I felt really sad when she killed the mom. I felt really bad in that part. Like,
Yeah.
that was like really sad because usually moms, they let them live in movies, but not this movie. So it shows
Yeah,
you
but
it's
I
like
mean,
hardcore.
if you gotta have your mom killed, it's better to smell her rotting body in a trunk and gag on it, and then identify her through touch alone.
So he is there. Josh from whatever his name is, David Strine. Josh from Blair Witch Project. Josh Leonard, that's the actor. That's why I call him Josh. Duh. And that sets in motions of a woman stuck in her settings that she doesn't want to be in, and she is being helped by Jay Farrow, who we don't know until the very end of the movie is Nate is a undercover reporter. He gets killed. I don't understand. He gets shocked to death on the side. Well, he doesn't get shocked to death, but he does get burnt, like the paddles.
He gets what does happen? Oh, he opioids him to death.
Yeah, he gives him because that's what he says he was in there for. But obviously he was a reporter, so he wasn't really on the drugs.
Yeah.
I
mean, how bad are their forensics that they can't tell that he was like electrocuted several times?
I mean,
and all this
I'm
stuff?
sure you could look at the side of his fucking head and see that he got shocked on his head. Like,
Yeah, and also he had blood coming out of his mouth, which means there were cuts inside
and
his
also,
mouth.
why
like,
didn't she tell her mom to bring a photo of David Strine the next time? Maybe she didn't
have any, probably.
You can't. I'm sure on record she did have him charged, didn't she? Remember, she had him charged. But I guess
know.
that might have been before that happened. That might have happened before she got to contact her mom. I think David Strine saw her right after her mom came, so maybe that's what.
How did David Strine find her and all this
He killed
stuff?
the other guy. Oh, that's right. I don't know. I mean, he obviously knows what she does. He knows all about her. Because I mean, when they find the body in the woods, I thought it was
You
the
know
mom.
what? You know what this movie taught me? It taught me that if you love someone hard enough, that you'll follow them around the country and just keep loving them
True
devotedly,
love.
no matter what, and accept all their flaws.
True love. So yeah, when they found
True
the body
love
in the
will
woods,
prevail.
when they found the body under the trees, the girl jogging with the dog.
Yeah.
That's the original guy that David Strine
Yeah,
killed.
that's the guy George or whatever.
Yeah, so I thought that was somebody else, but yeah, it's him. So he took. There's a lot of. I'm sure there's a lot of things where you're like, if you really think about it. But I mean,
But how do you get the job and stuff? And how do you know? See, there's some gaps in this movie. Like, for one, how did he know to get a job in this place that she was going to be in? That within, one day of her getting committed, which was this spontaneous, unexpected thing, he just happened to be working there. So what, he instantly applied and got the job?
it's the movies. So the actress that she looks like, Claire Foy, Taryn Manning. That's who she reminded me of a little bit. TarynManning. Taryn Manning. If you see her, you're like, oh yeah, she sort of looks like her. Yeah, Taryn Manning is this actress who tried to be an actor, then a singer. She was in 8 Mile. She's in a couple things. She has
She's in Orange is the New Black.
she has pronounced jawline. She is very.
I don't see it.
If you see her moving, you'll see it. Trust me, because Claire Foy has that sort of same jawline in this film. Anyway, so it all leads to basically her being terrorized. It seems like she's terrorized at the beginning, then she's not really terrorized throughout the movie. The only thing that I thought was sort of really stuck out like a sore thumb was the whole confrontation scene with this guy David Strine in the nut room, or excuse me,
in the end,
padded
yeah.
cell. And I was looking at this going this is like an actor's showcase. I bet you the
Yeah.
director came up to her and just showed her that scene. And was like, oh, you can really, really act. You know what I mean? You can really go off and do, because actors obviously like to act. And I'm sure he's like, you can give this really great rants in the scene. And she was like,
it was like the writing in this was a little weak.
And she was like, okay, oh, do Shane.
Is she British?
I think she is. I believe she is.
Oh, so the actress I think she looks like is a combination of Chloe Duvall, I don't know, the girl from The Faculty, and she's also the girlfriend of Sarah Paulson in American Horror Story.
Okay, so those two actresses merged together.
Those two actresses combined. So if
I can see you. So you're taking like the eyes,
artificially inseminated and combine their DNA.
So like Sarah Paulson's eyes and the rest of Claire or whatever her name's face.
Maybe, but in any case, good combination of people.
Yes, very good. And but that whole scene was like, it reminded me of like, remember I was talking to somebody who didn't know that there was a Silent Night remake. You know, the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake.
Yeah.
And they had that priest. Remember, I'm not the priest. The fake Santa Claus, Donald Logue, he gives that big rant behind the bars about kids acting differently nowadays. It was just like so actorly, and you're like, oh, get this fucking shit out the movie. It's just like, please. I wish it wasn't so terrible in this movie, but it was like she finds out her mom is basically murdered, and everybody else that she cares for, her friend is killed, and she's like, oh, okay, and I guess she has to play cool, which is totally fine. But it was just like, I mean, that's a lot of heavy fucking news to hear. That you're like, and then you can act cool and trick this guy to,
I mean,
bring in another woman and rape her.
Thrilling and exciting than having a stalker kill your mom.
Right. So that other girl's been
sounds great.
That other girl's been a thorn in her ass throughout the whole movie, and she
hint everybody.
She convinces him to bring the girl back, and the part is when she slabs him in the neck. But she should have just slashed his throat like she does at the end of the movie. She obviously keeps the piece of metal.
She stabbed him in the neck. How's he running around and shit and breaking other people's necks and stuff?
It's the movies. But anyway.
Yeah, but I feel like if you got... And screaming even. How is he screaming?
And then she
You should have started kicking him.
Then she remember she just jumps out the door and then locks the other girl in with him?
Yeah.
That's the part I was like,
who could blame her for killing that girl? That girl's horrible.
Yeah, but I mean, she didn't do anything that was worthy of death.
She was just really annoying. I was thrilled when she died, and she's super hot.
She is.
Do not look at that picture.
Do not look at that AZ Nude website.
Not go to
it's very offensive. I don't think anybody should look at it.
I would never look at pictures of nude women because I respect women too much to think of them in such a sexually degrading
It's horrible. Anyway, so she gets her killed, and it's essentially a straight-on thriller from the second half of the film, and it feels like a nice little, it's a nice little thriller. It's nice. It's a nice little thriller horror. It's not really horror. The horror aspect comes from this guy who's obviously has control of what you can, what pills you have to take and stuff, and obviously she knows better than to take any of the fucking pills he does.
Yeah,
and then it becomes in some.
It's like you don't know if he's real, but like he is real. You don't know. Like, if that guy Nate is good or bad, but he's fine.
Yeah, because you think...
Missed opportunities.
While he's talking on the phone, you think he's talking about her. It becomes a little paranoid.
Well, he is talking about her, kind of. Like, as the story, he's exposing someone who shouldn't do that.
Okay, right.
But, like,
that's true. But you don't... In context, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
But they just had, opportunities to make it more
paranoid. I wish there was a little bit more paranoia in the film, but within 15 minutes, it's pretty clear what's going on, and you're like, oh, okay, so it's this type of film, which is not a bad thing. I actually like the movie a lot, given some of those sort of weird choices that they make, and it leads to a nice little, confrontation in the woods with that bad line that you said, and overall, I enjoyed the movie. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was I did not leave disappointed watching this film, and that says a lot for movies this year. Actually, no, I didn't. I'm not disappointed in a lot of movies this year. What's that?
We've had some great movies.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's good. It's not as great as those other films, but I think it's a solid sort of little thriller that you can enjoy. You can just sit down, and then you can, whoever you're dating, you can threaten them with getting them locked up.
You could be like, listen, I love you as much as David Strine loves his lady.
And then you ask them where their mom lives the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't ask me. No, I gotta know. I love you. I know your favorite lunch.
I'm devoted to you, and I think if we could just be together, it would be okay.
Apologies to people who've actually been stalked that listen to our podcast, because it's not funny.
I wouldn't stalk you, and I hope that no one here stalks me and kills my mom. That's all I hope.
It's frightening. Anyway, I'd give this movie a solid 7 out of 10 luring a person whose guts you hate because they've been being a total asshole to you to being supposedly fucking sexually assaulted, then you're like, haha, just kidding, I'm gonna kill that guy. And then when it doesn't work out, you're like, well, I gotta lock you into the room with him. Goodbye.
Okay. I'm gonna give it, and I'm giving it a little more because it was shot on a fucking iPhone, which is impressive. 7.5 out of 10. I gotta up you. I'm upping you. 7.5 out of 10. Using your mom's rotting corpse crucifix to stab a man and slit his throat.
Was it? I thought it was the fucking. She kept that blade from the girl.
No.
You can't fucking slash somebody's throat with a fucking cross.
She grabbed the crucifix off the mom's neck. I feel like that's how she identified her.
Really? I gotta go. No, I understood she identified her mom. I thought she kept that sliver of metal that she took from the girl. I didn't think that was a fucking cross can do that.
She definitely used the crucifix to hurt him.
In the eye. She stabbed him in the eye. Oh, so maybe she... How can you cut somebody's throat with a fucking crucifix?
Well, maybe she... I don't know. Let's look it up.
I know she stabbed him in the eye. Okay, go on the wiki. Let's do this before this episode ends. Look up on the wiki, how did she kill David Strine? Because this is going to bother me.
Hold on. Keep talking.
So at the very end of the film, obviously, she gets to the final confrontation with David Strine, and she uses the crucifix to stab him in the eye. Then
stabbing him in the eye.
She graphically slices his throat.
The power of Jesus.
You know, there's a website called The Movie Spoiler, so maybe they have the spoilers for this film.
There's no spoilers needed. I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, you actually have it? You actually buy the film?
It's about to happen.
You bought the film? That's great.
Right about. Hold on.
It's all blue.
A year from now. Maybe 2. I'm reading the captions.
So who is your favorite character in the movie?
Start a family of our own. Oh, see, he loves her, and she just
he's not a bad guy, right?
Doesn't appreciate the love. Come on, do what you're gonna do. Sorry.
All right, so I've already gone into the movie.
It and restart it to find the answer.
I've gone already to the movie spoiler, so let's load this motherfucker up.
Hold on. She's holding.
She's got the cross,
hold on.
right?
No, wait, it's really not clear. Hold on.
David,
very unclear.
Here it goes. David catches up to Sawyer in the woods and fractures her leg by whacking it with a hammer. He takes her unconscious body further into the woods. He lays down next to her and tries to talk to her lovingly. Sawyer turns out to be conscious. She pulls out her mother's necklace and stabs David in the eye before going for the shiv again and slicing David's throat. Thank you. That's on the movie spoiler.
Was it a combination of both?
Yes. That's my hypothesis from the beginning.
Okay, so the power of Jesus and that girl Violet's braids.
Yes. Wait, did you give your rating? What was it again?
I did.
Oh, right, okay. So with that, I never pay attention. With that, Danny, what's the final word?
Don't stalk me and kill my mother, please.